when I left that meeting, I didn't want him to feel like he brought a problem, so I wouldn't say anything about Ja Rule. I kept it, I didn't say one thing.
How long did the meeting last?
It was like, when I met him, the first night I met him, he had an event. It was the Marshall Mathers LP just came out the first week and sold 1.7 million records. And he was so excited about me that I'm looking like, you serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. And by the time I got back and...
Y'all, this wasn't just another late night incident. This felt like a warning shot heard across the entire industry. One moment, it's flashing lights, luxury cars, and high-stakes money at a Florida casino. The next, gunfire erupts, panic explodes, and Offset is down, rushed out with a bullet wound while chaos floods the scene. No suspects, no motive, no answers. Just silence, and that silence is what's scaring people the most. Because this doesn't feel new. 3 years ago, Takeoff didn't make it out alive after a similar night turned deadly. Now Offset survives, barely, and suddenly the internet starts connecting dots nobody wanted to see. 2 out of 3 Migos members shot, 1 gone forever. Coincidence? Or something much darker unfolding behind the scenes? And then, 50 Cent steps in. Not with sympathy but with a warning. Allegedly hinting that this isn't random, that rappers are being targeted, that when you reach a certain level, you become a liability. And just when people try to dismiss it, another name enters the conversation. Rihanna. A separate shooting. Another high-profile target. Another unanswered incident. Now the pattern is forming, and it's getting harder to ignore. Because if this really is what it looks like, then this isn't about one shooting. This is about a system. And the real question isn't why it happened. It's who's next.
I would never say anything about Ja until the first time I said something about him. Ja made a mistake and said something about Haley. When he said something about Haley, he thought that they made some sort of kind of connection when they was getting high or something like that. And I'm like, what the f made him think like this? Like it was, and I'm like, it was a Friday evening. Em didn't record that Friday. I recorded that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday. He came back. I had a full CD, Automatic Gunfire. It was my whole mixtape, Automatic Gunfire, was done Monday morning. He was listening, he's going, yo, when did y'all get a chance to, all this shit was this weekend? Like, I was dying to do that. I just didn't want him to feel like he brought a problem because I know he didn't understand the severity of who I am.
The night didn't feel dangerous until it suddenly was. April 6th, 2026. A high-end casino in Florida. Valet lights glowing, engines humming, people stepping out of luxury cars like nothing could touch them here. This was supposed to be a safe space, controlled, monitored, protected. Then the sound shattered everything. Gunfire. Not inside the casino, not hidden in some back alley, but right out front, in the valet. The one place where guards, cameras, and visibility should have made something like this impossible. And yet it happened. Offset, one of the most recognizable names in hip-hop, was suddenly at the center of it. Hit, injured, rushed out before most people even understood what they had just witnessed. Within minutes, the narrative began to fracture. Officials confirmed the shooting, but nothing else made sense. 2 individuals detained, but no confirmed shooter. No motive, no explanation, no immediate arrests. Just a controlled statement and a contained scene. And that's where the real tension begins, because when something this loud ends in silence, people start asking questions. Fast. Online, the reaction wasn't just shock, it was recognition. Because this story felt familiar. Too familiar.
Offset has been shot at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood. Let's take you live to the scene. CBS News, my name is Chelsea Jones, is there with what we know tonight. Chelsea.
And Jim, this really unfolding in the last several hours. We are learning that Offset has been shot via his spokesperson. Let's give you a live look at the scene right now where things are quiet here along State Road 7, just outside of Seminole Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. But I want to show you what things looked like a little bit earlier. So taking you right now to some videos from Only in Dade. In that video, you can see a man lying on the ground with a police officer on top of them while another person is being pulled away by another officer. The Seminole County Police tell us it is aware of an incident that occurred at the valet area after 7 tonight. In this video, you can see people wandering around looking at the situation unfolding just outside along with the police response. Now, that spokesperson for rapper Offset, who was a part of the rap group Migos, confirms that he was the person shot. That spokesperson also saying the rapper is stable and is being closely monitored. Seminole police say he was taken to Memorial Regional Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And they're also saying that they were able to get things under wraps here very quickly. 2 people have been detained. But as for the situation here at the casino, they say there is no threat to the public. And
3 years earlier, Takeoff had been caught in a situation that escalated just as quickly. A late-night environment. A sudden dispute, gunfire, chaos. And this time there was no recovery. He didn't make it out. Now, in less than 4 years, two members of the same group, a group that once dominated the charts, defined a sound and moved as a unit, have both been shot. One gone, one barely surviving. That's not just a statistic. That's a pattern people can't ignore. And patterns make people uncomfortable. Because patterns suggest intention. They suggest repetition. They suggest that what looks random might not be random at all. Then the conversation shifts, and a different voice cuts through the noise. 50 Cent, not reacting emotionally, not offering sympathy, but allegedly stepping in with something colder, a warning. The kind that doesn't calm people down, it wakes them up. According to what's circulating, the message is clear.
Offset owe you money?
I don't do no damn
Hey
fighting.
man, you just want to tell us what happened?
Did I shoot Offset? That's crazy.
They're saying you were disorderly. Outside
he
the
put his
casino, there
hands
was a
on
fight
you
near the
first?
valet.
Smack the out of Offset. He would never play with me like that in his life.
Does somebody owe you, money?
Ask Offset.
He owe you money?
Ask Offset.
Do you have issues with Offset?
I don't know. What happened?
He's in the hospital right now, but he's okay.
The last thing I seen was Offset looking at me like this. Yo, that shot me. That shot me. La la la. The rat, cat, weirdos. Got in a good ass interview. I'm walking to my car like.
What started the fight?
I don't know. You know.
Were they after you?
I don't know.
TJ's innocent all day.
Nobody wants to touch me. You know what happened last? Touch me. You know what happened? Touch me.
What happened?
I don't even know. I go. Who else is involved? Damn.
Did you ever say if you didn't give your money, you'd get it back in blood?
Yo, don't say nothing.
This wasn't just an isolated moment. This wasn't just bad timing. This wasn't just being in the wrong place. This was something else. Something that fits into a bigger picture. Because right as people try to process Offset's shooting, another name resurfaces in the conversation, Rihanna. Different location, different circumstances, same confusion. A high security area, a sudden burst of gunfire, no clear answers. And now, these incidents are no longer being viewed separately. They're being stacked, compared, analyzed. And the more they're lined up, the harder it becomes to dismiss the similarities. 3 major names point 3 violent moments, all within a tight window of time. No clean explanations. No satisfying conclusions. Just fragments. And when people don't get answers, they build their own. That's where the narrative starts to shift from news to something darker.
Right now! So let me tell you how I'm doing. So let me tell you how I'm doing press for Rhythm and Flow, right? So I'm doing motherfucking press for Rhythm and Flow. And these bitch ass niggas, little motherfucking bitch ass niggas, I had interviews with him before, but this time I feel like you niggas really fucking trying to. I don't play with.
Because behind the headlines, behind the statements, behind the carefully worded updates, there's a growing belief that something deeper is happening. Not confirmed, not proven, but persistent. And it's being fueled by more than just the incidents themselves. It's the timing. It's the repetition. It's the silence that follows every explosion. And most of all, it's the feeling that every time someone reaches a certain level, something pulls them back down. Hard. Offset survives, for now. But survival doesn't erase the question. It amplifies it. Because if this wasn't random, then it wasn't the end of something. It was the continuation of it. And that realization is what's turning a single shooting into something far more unsettling. Something that doesn't end when the sirens fade. Something that lingers. Something that's still unfolding.
He argue with Offset, y'all.
That's only a picture, goddamn, nigga. You ain't that much of a celebrity, bro. You ain't that much of a celebrity, bro. That's only guys for a picture. I'm not for a picture. Goddamn, we black people.
By the time the sirens faded, the narrative had already shifted. This wasn't being treated like a single incident anymore. IT was being studied, dissected, connected. Because when a situation leaves behind more questions than answers, people don't move on. They dig deeper. And the deeper they went, the more uncomfortable it got. Offset wasn't just any artist standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was a figure tied to one of the most influential rap groups of the last decade. A group built on family, loyalty, and dominance, now reduced to fragments, tension, and tragedy. And when you look at what led up to this moment, the timeline starts to feel heavy. Cracks in the group had already surfaced years earlier. Rumors, allegations, quiet divides that slowly turned public. The bond between Offset and Quavo weakened, strained under pressure that fans could only speculate about. Then came the breaking point. Takeoff. Gone in an instant. Not in a studio. not on stage, but in a setting that should have been routine, a late-night gathering that spiraled out of control. The aftermath didn't just shake the industry, it shattered whatever remained of Migos as a unit. Loss changed everything, but it didn't stop there. Because while the public saw grief, tributes, and brief moments of unity, what followed behind the scenes looked different. Distance grew, communication faded, and what once felt like a family began to resemble something fractured beyond repair.
Mad.
Shut up.
You.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Okay, I stay then. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and this motherfucker wants me to go to the casino with his ass.
Now fast forward. Offset stands alone, navigating a world that had already taken one piece of his foundation. And outside of music, things weren't stable either. His relationship with Cardi B had turned into a public storm. Years of loyalty questioned. Accusations of betrayal. A divorce that didn't just end quietly. It dragged through headlines, legal tension, and financial disputes that painted a picture of constant pressure. Millions on the line. Reputation on the line. Control slipping. That kind of environment doesn't just create stress, it creates vulnerability. And vulnerability is where things start to get dangerous. Because when someone is already under pressure from every direction, emotionally, financially, publicly, it doesn't take much to push things further. That's why this moment feels different. Not just because of the shooting, but because of everything surrounding it. Everything leading up to it. Everything that hasn't been resolved. Then the conversation circles back to one voice again. 50 Cent. Not speaking in details, not pointing fingers, but allegedly outlining something broader. A system. A cycle. An understanding that goes beyond one night, one location, one incident. According to what's being echoed online, the idea isn't about proving a specific event. It's about recognizing a pattern. Artists rise. They generate massive value. They build influence. And then something shifts. Sometimes it's internal conflict. Sometimes it's public scandal. Sometimes it's something far more sudden. And when it happens repeatedly, when names, timelines, and outcomes start to align, people stop asking what happened. They start asking, why does this keep happening? That's where the tension builds. Because there's no official answer for that. No statement that ties everything together. No confirmation that validates the suspicion. But the absence of clarity becomes its own kind of signal. Especially when the stakes are this high. Especially when the names involved carry this much weight. Offset's situation isn't isolated anymore. It's part of a growing list. Moments that don't fully make sense. Incidents that don't fully resolve. Stories that don't fully close. And the more they accumulate, the harder it becomes to ignore the possibility that something larger is at play. Not proven, not confirmed, but impossible to dismiss completely. Because when history starts to echo itself, people listen differently. And right now, the echo is getting louder. At some point, it stops feeling like coincidence. Not because there's proof, but because of how often the same type of moment keeps repeating, different places, different names, same outcome. And now, the focus isn't just on what happened to Offset. It's on what it represents. Because when a high-profile artist gets hit in a public space, surrounded by cameras, security, and witnesses, and the story still comes back incomplete, people start to question the system itself. Not just the incident, the entire environment around it. Offset survives. That part is clear. But survival doesn't close the story, it extends it. Because now there's time. Time to analyze. Time to revisit old moments. Time to connect names that were never meant to be connected. And that's exactly what's happening. The industry isn't being viewed the same way anymore. Not as just music, success, and celebrity, but as something layered, something controlled, something that, at its highest levels, might come with risks people don't fully understand until it's too late. That's where the conversation becomes uncomfortable, because it shifts from what happened that night to what kind of world allows this to keep happening. And when that shift occurs, everything starts to look different. The rise of artists, the deals behind the scenes, the sudden fallouts, the unexplained moments that never quite get resolved. Individually, they seem disconnected. Together, they start to form a pattern that's hard to ignore. That's the space where 50 Cent allegedly positions his warning. Not as a reaction to one event, but as recognition of something ongoing. A structure where influence comes with pressure. Where visibility comes with exposure. Where success doesn't always equal safety. And if that idea holds even a fraction of truth, then what happened to Offset isn't just about him. It's about what happens when someone reaches a level where too many interests collide. Because at that level, it's not just fans watching. It's not just media reporting. It's forces most people never see. Forces that don't trend. Forces that don't explain themselves. Forces that, if they exist the way some believe, don't make mistakes. That's the part that unsettles people. Not the noise. Not the headlines. But the possibility that there's intent behind the silence. Because silence, in situations like this, isn't empty. It's controlled. Carefully measured. Just enough information to move on, but never enough to understand. And that leaves a gap. A gap filled with theories, speculation, and fear. Because when clarity is missing, imagination takes over. And right now, imagination is painting a picture that a lot of people don't want to believe, but can't completely dismiss either. Offset's name is now part of that picture. So is Takeoff. So is Rihanna. Different stories. Same unease. And that unease is growing. Because the timeline keeps moving forward, but the questions stay behind. Unanswered. Unresolved. Unfinished. And that's what turns moments like this into something bigger than news. Something that lingers. Something that evolves. Something that doesn't fade when the headlines disappear. Because the real impact isn't what people saw that night. It's what they're starting to believe now. That maybe, just maybe, this isn't random. And if it isn't random, then it isn't over. And now everything feels different. Because this isn't just another headline people scroll past and forget. This is the kind of moment that lingers, the kind that forces people to look twice, to question what they're really seeing and what they're not being told. Offset is still here, still breathing, still recovering, but that doesn't erase what just happened. It only makes it more unsettling. Because survival doesn't end the story, it extends a warning. The timeline is sitting right in front of everyone. Takeoff gone. Rihanna targeted. Offset nearly taken out. Different locations, different nights, same energy, chaos, confusion, and no real answers. And now, with 50 Cent allegedly stepping in with a message that feels less like commentary and more like a signal, people aren't just watching anymore, they're paying attention. Because if this really is what it looks like, then this isn't about one artist. It's about an environment where success comes with consequences nobody talks about until it's too late. Where the higher you climb, the more exposed you become. Where the spotlight doesn't just make you famous, it makes you visible in ways you can't control. And that's the part no one can shake. Because if this pattern keeps repeating, then the next name isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So stay alert. Watch closely. Because the story isn't slowing down, it's building. And the next moment could hit harder, louder, and closer than anyone expects.